Hello, fellow mech warriors, Mage Leader here. Welcome back to the BattleMech Primer. Today we're going to be taking a look at a personal favorite of mine, a mech with deep sentimental value. This is the first mech I ever owned. I fought my first ever duel in it, won my first Solaris victory in it, claimed my first bondsman with it, hell, I even lost my virginity in the thing's control couch. But it's far more than just my original pussy wagon. It's also a solid design with an impressive service record, the perfect machine for beginners and hardened veterans alike. Today, we're taking a look at the Griffin. The Griffin is a medium mech, a compromise between mobility, protection, and firepower. While most other mech classes tend to have specific roles, medium mechs serve more as a kind of force multiplier, a way to fill in the gaps of any given lance. If your scout lance needs a sniper or missile boat to sit in the back line and cover them from afar, or something to run in and provide a bigger target if things get hairy, a medium will do the job while still keeping pace with the little guys. If your assault lance needs something to run ahead, create distractions, or mark targets while having enough armor to keep it alive, a medium will fit the bill nicely. As long as you pick the right mech for the job, they can be a serious benefit to any force. Mage Squadron is primarily focused on using light mechs for hit-and-run tactics, but we have a fair share of these bad boys waiting in the wings as emergency response units. Of course, not all medium mechs are created equal, some are brilliant, and others are the Phoenix Hawk, but that's a video for another time. The Griffin is definitely one of the best medium mech designs you can find. Let's dig into its history a little bit and see what makes it so special. The Griffin was first produced by Earthworks Incorporated in 2492. In those days, Battlemechs were still a brand new concept, and the idea of weight classes was barely even theoretical, let alone standardized. At 60 tons, it was smaller than a Mackie, but heavier than a Commando. It truly was one of the first medium mechs ever created, but at the time those terms didn't really exist, and so it was considered a heavy mech. Earthworks had designed the machine for frontal assault and frontal combat, and for a brief period it was the ultimate machine. There was nothing else quite like it. It packed much heavier firepower than a light mech, but compared to the lumbering awkwardness of the Mackie, it was a fucking ballet dancer. It could just about keep pace with the little guys while packing enough heat to obliterate the competition. It struck the perfect balance that makes the ultimate weapons platform. It sold like hotcakes naturally, and before long, everyone and their great aunt Gertrude was fielding them. Of course, this reign of terror wouldn't last long. Heavy mechs with greater protection and firepower soon supplanted the Griffin in its intended role, but that only slightly dampened the design's popularity. It may not have been the king of the heap anymore, but it began to demonstrate its greatest strength. The Griffin is one versatile little motherfucker. It slips seamlessly into other roles, be it fire support, scouting, or commanding other units, and its pilots were firmly in love with it. Due to its popularity, Earthworks Incorporated released the Griffin as a medium mech 5 tons lighter, where it has remained ever since. At 55 tons, the Griffin is on the heavier end of the medium spectrum, and today it is found in virtually every armored battalion in existence. It's also made by just about every manufacturer. Seriously, this thing is like the AK-47 of Battlemechs. Everyone has a variant of it that they're willing to sell you. Everyone but the Capellan Confederation, that is. Probably because...
they're so stupid! Stupid!
The default configuration, if one truly exists, is the GRF-1N, which is equipped with a PPC and an LRM-10. It's got a set of jump jets as well, allowing it to hop from one firing position to the next with little effort. This variant is meant for long-range fire support, and it's a solid pick. However, it lacks any options for close-range defense. Defiance Industries would attempt to remedy this with the GRF-1S, which removed the PPC, replaced the LRM-10 with an LRM-5, and mounted a pair of medium lasers and a large laser. 4 extra heat sinks were also added, allowing it to stay in the fight longer than before. Dozens, if not hundreds, of other configurations were tried, but the 1N remained the dominant model up until a certain moment in history that forced the Inner Spheres manufacturers to reassess their designs.
No!
Fortunately, the GRF-1DS had been designed to replace the 1N in 3049, just in time for the laser-spewing turbo nerds to show up. This variant is basically a souped-up version of the 1N and is equipped with a large pulse laser and an LRM-20. It was given a bigger engine to go even faster than before and double heat sinks to manage the excess heat with style. But Mage Leader, I hear you ask, what about you? What kind of Griffin did you pilot back in your younger, sexier days? Well, I'm so glad you asked. My own personal Griffin was a heavily modified GRF-2N. She carried a pair each of medium lasers, SRM-6s, and SRM-4s. She ran hot, almost to the point of cooking me alive in the cockpit, but there are few mechs in the 55-ton range that can withstand a salvo like the kind I could fire off. Ever made a Shadowhawk disintegrate with a single trigger pull? There's no feeling quite like it. In battle, the Griffin is like a Canopian hooker. She can be whatever you want her to be, even if it's weird and makes no goddamn sense. It can snipe, it can brawl, it can run a marathon. So when you inevitably get one for your unit, go crazy with it. Try whatever you want. With 9.5 tons of armor protecting you, you can afford to be a little reckless with your custom builds. Chances are it'll be a solid option no matter what insane bullshit you strap onto it. Hell, I've seen one with a giant chainsaw mounted on its arm, and I was jealous. So that's the Griffin. It's a certified classic by every metric. Everyone's seen it, and everyone's used it. Limitless potential in Battlemech form. The ultimate place to cut your teeth as a mech warrior. Dirt cheap, available everywhere, and built to last, it's a machine that just won't quit. It's been the go-to grunt mech for centuries, and chances are it'll be the default option of mech warriors everywhere for centuries to come. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a comment down below. They mean a lot to me, and I read every single one. Until next time, this is Mage Leader, signing off.